Okay, so Sunday cooking. It's meal prep day. So I shopped yesterday, which was Saturday, and I try to stay organized. So the first thing I do is I get everything I need out on the counter just for the first dish. And then I take it one dish at a time. So far I've got some chicken out because I'm going to make some chicken chili in the crock pot. I've got some salsa, and I've got some cans of beans. Let's see, I'm going to need a can opener and a cutting board. So here's my can opener. And we'll get a cutting board out. Okay, and obviously we're going to need the crock pot. Okay, so I've got my cutting board out, got my crock pot out. First things first, obviously I got to wash my hands. Alright, so first dish is going to get started. That's going to be a chicken chili, which I will eventually serve over brown rice. I'll make brown rice on the day that we eat it. I'll put the chicken chili, once it's done, into individual containers. Put that in the fridge. As we're ready to eat it, whatever night that might be, I'll just throw some brown rice, usually boil in a bag rice, right on the stove. Okay, now that the hands are washed, I'll start obviously with some Pam Spray so it don't stick. Alright, I'm going to start by cutting up my chicken. I usually take out a paper plate to put some garbage on, like the fat and stuff that I cut off the meat. Think Rachel Ray, garbage bowl. Alright, so as you can see, I've got my salsa, I've got my black beans, I've got my garbanzo beans, I've got my chicken. I hate cutting chicken, it skees me, so I just kind of fly through it and do the best I can. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my ingredients laid out. It's a very simple dish. It's very Weight Watcher friendly, and it's something that I ate a lot in trying to lose my 125 pounds. Low fat. Vegetables are pretty much free. The salsa really doesn't cost you anything if you were doing like a Weight Watchers or something. It's very low in calories. I've got my black beans and I've got my garbanzo beans, so that'll be a little bit of calories there. I mean, can't get any healthier than having chicken breast. So I'm cutting it up right now. I'm going to put it into the crock pot. And then I'm going to put this on for probably 8 hours on low. It's kind of late in the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which means it's not going to be done until 11 o'clock at night, but that's okay because I'm not eating it today. So before I go to bed, I'll put it into individual portion containers. So I'm going to continue with just cutting up my chicken. And like I said, I just grit and bear it and get through it. Cut off a lot of fat because it skews me. And this was a dish as I was losing weight that I made pretty much once a week. It's very easy to serve. Once this is made, mix a little bit of a sauce between the salsa and the natural juices that come off of the meat. And then I like to put this over brown rice. I usually serve it with, for each person with a half a cup of brown rice. So one of the things I do when I am cutting chicken is I make sure I use one of these resin plastic cutting boards. I don't use wood cutting boards because you don't want like the chicken to get stuck in the wood and become unsanitary. So these plastic ones, I'm able to steam them and wash them with usually like with bleach to get the chicken off because I don't want to cross contamination or salmonella. And I pretty much only use this cutting board for cutting chicken. I don't cut anything else on this cutting board. Okay, so now that I'm done cutting the chicken, obviously the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be washing my hands. I want to try to avoid cross contamination. You can tell I'm not going to be a chef. I cook because I have to. I cook because I don't want my family eating out constantly. That's how I got heavy and got up to 297 pounds to begin with. It's because I was constantly eating out. On the run with my kids' activities, like today, we had a dance competition. Normally we would have gone out to eat after that, but now I'm cooking. So that's one of the habits I had to break in order to lose weight. I had to break the habit of eating out all the time. Had to stop being lazy. Had to start cooking. So again, it's easier for me to cook on the weekends when I do have a little bit more time than on the weekdays. Okay, I'm just going to salt up the chicken a little bit. Give it a little flavor, a little bit of pepper. Alright, now I'm going to start putting my ingredients in. So we're going to go with some salsa. Just dump the entire jar in there. Alright, now I'm going to put in some garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas. Alright, so the last step, so I've got in the crock pot, I have Pam Spray all over the base of the crock pot. I've got my chicken breast that I cut up into bite-sized pieces on the bottom of the crock pot. I put salt and pepper on that. I dumped in a jar of, we like mild salsa, and a can of chickpeas and a can of black beans. All I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it up, and then I'm going to put this on low for, I'm going to go 8 hours, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so this isn't going to be done until 11 o'clock tonight. So, you know, that kind of stinks, because on a Sunday night, the last thing I want to do is stay up putting this into individual containers. I just want to go to bed, but the good thing about it is when I come home from work tomorrow, and let's see, we've got pick up my daughter at dance tomorrow, take my son to physical therapy tomorrow, then take my son to baseball. I mean, there's always activities, which is why it's nice to then be able to come home to this and it's there. My next dish is going to be on the stove. While this is cooking, I'm going to set up a beef chili. And again, I bought from yesterday, I bought 90% ground beef, fat-free ground beef. And that's going to have beef, peppers, onions, crushed tomatoes, and chili seasoning in it. And so that's my next dish. That's a nice, easy dish. I just kind of have to saute everything. I can have that going while this is going, and then I can move on to my third dish. And what I want to make sure that I do is have all of my ingredients for my second meal out on the counter, everything that I need ready to go to make it simple on myself so I can quickly get the second meal going. So I've got red kidney beans, I've got crushed tomatoes, I've got 90% fat-free lean ground beef, I've got olive oil, mixed peppers, and onions. I have frozen peppers and frozen onions because they're supposed to be just as fresh vegetables because they freeze them right after they pick them. And on when I'm trying to put a couple of meals together at the same time, it's just a lot easier, so that's why I use it. Some real foodies would probably cringe at that, but hey, whatever makes your life easier, and if it's going to help you lose weight, then you go for it. All right, now I'm going to heat up olive oil. Okay, so I'm going to dump my frozen onions into the pan. It's probably way more onions than you need, because if I was going to actually chop up onions, I'd probably just use one big onion. But because I have the whole bag, hey, what the heck, it gives it a lot of flavor. It's, let's just throw it in there. And now I'm going to cook that till it gets translucent. And I usually pick the salt and pepper out. I like to salt like each layer as I put it in there. Alright, so just dump that in there. I'll break it up. I'm going to salt and pepper the meat also. Okay, so I just took out a pot to boil some macaroni. After I'm done making the chili, I'm going to try to make a quick ziti. I'll use jarred sauce just because it's quick. My mother, God rest her soul, who was Italian, never owned a jar of sauce in her life. She made every jar of sauce that we ever had. Every Sunday, meatballs, macaroni, sausage, risotto. Could be why I like to overeat, because Sunday was a big eating fest at an Italian household. So I'm new to this video making thing. We'll see if it sucks. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm not really here to be the world's best cinematographer. I'm just here to give you some tips because I just found it so helpful to me when I was on my weight loss journey. And I am still on a weight loss journey because it's never going to end. It's like it's a lifestyle now. So I'm maintaining at my goal weight, but sure, I'd love to lose another 10 pounds. So I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. Cooking homemade food, measuring everything out, trying to do some meal prep on Sundays. Okay, while I'm waiting for the pot to boil for the macaroni, I'm going to start mixing the mixture that we're going to put in the baked ziti. So we're going to go with, we'll start with 16 ounces of part skim ricotta. Okay, so our macaroni is boiling. I'm going to salt the water and add the macaroni. And we're going to put the macaroni on for 10 minutes. So we'll start with the ricotta. And I've got a 16-ounce package of ricotta cheese. Then we're gonna go with I have what do I have? A 16-ounce bag of mozzarella, shredded mozzarella. I'm gonna go with about half the bag, about 8 ounces. And then I'll save some and put some on the top too. We're gonna add our about a cup, I guess, of the sauce. Shh, don't tell Mom. And a little more. Okay, and we'll add our spices. So we've got some, what do we have? Garlic and herb. A little of that in there. I have absolutely no measurements. I just do it till I think it looks good. We're gonna go some onion powder. Not onion powder, chopped onion. A little bit of that in there. A little salt. A little pepper. And then 1 egg. Okay, so then we're gonna mix that up. Break up the egg and get that all nice and gooey together. And then once the macaroni's done, we're gonna put the macaroni right in here. Again, it's a dump dish. I'm gonna dump the macaroni in here and mix it all up, dump it in a pan and put it in the oven. Okay, it's 11:30 at night. The chicken chili's kind of done and looks like a little burnt overdone, but we'll have to suck it up and eat it anyway. Getting ready to put it into these containers over here. And I also just made a boiling bag brown rice, and I'll measure it all out. I use these black food prep containers that you can get them at Walmart or you can get them online at Amazon. And then I have these measuring spoons here. These were from Weight Watchers. The bigger one is a cup size and the smaller one is a half cup size. So I'll give everybody a cup size of the chicken chili, which is about 4 ounces of chicken. And then I'll give everybody a half a cup of the brown rice. Okay, so this is a half cup size serving. A little more in that one. This is how I do pretty much all the containers. Listen, everybody in my house used to be on a diet, except my son. He's 15. He can eat anything at this stage. Wait till he's like 40. Okay, and so I'll just cover those up, and I have enough, obviously I have enough rice. We'll probably use that later in the week too when I have the ground beef chili that I made this afternoon. And then I'll make a couple of more containers of the chicken. If we don't have it for dinner, a second night, my husband will always bring it to work for lunch. Are you still here? Go to bed. It's after 11 o'clock at night. I'm exhausted from cooking all day, but at least I don't have to cook during the week and I don't have to eat crap out at a fast food joint. So that's how I lost my weight. Good luck to you. I'm done.